Bienvenidos, pues vamos a iniciar el stream, así que pues en este video también voy a darle seguimiento e intentar terminar hablando en inglés, así que vamos a dar el inicio, pero más o menos quería darle las bienvenidas para las personas que hablan español también, sí, que mayormente pues he estado hablando los streams en español. Okay, welcome to y'all. In this stream, we're going to start talking about Prisma PHP and continue adding new features. And currently, we're going to see in the current version in Prisma PHP, we're going to talk about group roles and private roles and more. We're going to try to update the project with the update command, and we're going to like a little overview of the features coming with authentication. So let's begin. So for that, we're going to Google and search Prisma PHP to get into the documentation. So you're going to go and remember always check the changelog to get always the current added features. So here is the added feature in this version. So what we're going to talk about is the group and the private role first, then we're going to switch to the other ones. So for cover that, what I'm going to do is to open my VS Code, and from the getting started, I'm going to copy this command, paste, enter, and I'm going to update. Yes, my project name going to be test group and private row. I'm going to use Tailwind. In this case, I'm not going to use Tailwind because I'm just going to explain in direct, like say direct roads about the group and the private. So I'm not going to choose Tailwind either WebSocket. So let's wait. Okay, the purpose of group and private roles is to give you more flexible when you are organizing your folders, and when you want to have a private route which is going to be handled just internally and not going to be exposed if anyone going to try to get into that row specific. So what I want to do, clear my screen, and then I'm going to go this one. Yes, yes. Oof. Okay, it's open. Leaves. Okay, last time that little command was very complicated to remember. I'm going to close this one. I'm going to open this section, zoom out a little. Okay, now first thing first, for group routes, this app routes handle now group routes. So remember, for group routes you have to have your directory name with parentheses. So this is going to be group. I'm just going to say group, and then you're going to put the row. In this case, let's say users. So users is going to be my row, and inside user I'm going to put index PHP. So I'm going to press enter, and then I'm going to proceed next time. Okay, PHP, and I'm just going to say hello from group users. Okay, so that is what I want to see in the browser. So here I'm going to do npm run dev. Remember, what I try to do is composer install to install all dependencies. So that's what I'm going to do. Npm run dev. Okay, I'm going to open. Okay, now for group rows, I'm not going to point it in the group with parentheses. Let's say I'm trying to get to the group row, so I say group and then enter. It's not going to found because the groups are managed internally proposed. So what I want to do is go straight to users, and that's it's going to be my row. So I can have here in my group, let's say this is authentication. I have login, register, and last password. So I come and have let's say customers in the same folder group. So I'm just going to say index.php and then the CM. Okay, so in this case, instead of user, I'm going to say customers. Let me see. I have a typo here. Customers. Okay, reload. Okay, the customers was inside the user row. Okay, so here now. Okay, good. As you can see, inside a group row, you can have any kind of rows you want. So here I just have a 2 row inside the group, and this group can name anything you want. Let's say group test, I don't know, any kind of name that you wish to add. In this case, VS Code is trying to change the name. Okay. Okay. There you have it. npm run dev. Okay. Save the project, and there we go. So now the next thing, what you can do, you can have nested group rows too. Inside customers, I'm going to create another group. I'm going to say group 2, I don't know, and slash customers, let's say ID, and this is going to have index.php. And so inside, I'm just going to same thing, just say echo. Okay, so here for nested row is the CM technique you want to use in your request. So I want to just put ID and I get the ID, but in group test customers group 2, and the ID, and that going to get my rows in the ID. Okay, so that is the way what you can create your group rows. For documentation, you go to rows, and okay, let me update the documentation. Okay, refresh. Okay, there we go. As you can see, here is the group name, and what you can notice, the group is just the directory with the parentheses. So open and closing parentheses, and then the group name going inside. No, so that is the way to get your group name, and this is very handy way when you are developing and you want to group a certain section, how I said, authentication or public or dashboard, but inside you have the dashboard users, and you go direct to users, and you don't say let's say in this case I'm going to create another one, and here I'm going to say just for test purpose dashboard. So in this case I'm going to say users to show the conflict can create when you're creating this type of group roles. Users index.php. So in this case, and if I come and open, okay, let's edit the dashboard row PHP. Okay, as you see, when I create the same row inside another group, well, we have protected now. Those rows are protected, so you can't have two rows with the same name. So you got dashboard users and you got group test users, which are the same rows, in this case the users. So that's what trying to explain. So users can be inside dashboard and same row can be inside the group test. So to avoid this type of complaining, so you can come and say the group not going to be users, maybe you can change in users 2 or some things, and then you save your project, and now it's working good. Now I can go, but if I say users, so I'm going direct to the dashboard user, in this case dashboard user. Oops. Okay, let me delete this after. Okay, no, yeah. I was editing. Okay. No. Okay. Okay, now there we have it. So you have to decide for one. You can't have same row, so you have to delete one or change name and then compile, or you come and start the server again, because you have to refresh the project, that, or save the file, and then it's going to be to refresh. No, so in this case I have the dashboard user already prepared, so that is the way where you can have users, and then inside the dashboard you got customers, and so on, so on, so on. Okay, now for private roads, so let's say you want a private roads which it's going to be internally managed. and that not going to be exposed if they request the private. So for private routes, what you're going to do is come and then you're going to say private, or the private is any name you want. I just put in private for testing purpose, so index.php. So here mainly you can see, and I just come and say PHP and then echo out, and this is private route, not a group. So sorry, get okay, private, and save. No, to get to private route, let's say I want to go to private. No, it's not accessible, but yes, in code base you can access to the private route. So from outside you can call with API call to your private route. It's not going to be enabled for that. So remember, private routes are let's say is internally accessible, but outside no. Okay, now let's go to users and just test some. Okay, here you can get to it. Private and group routes, more information, and if you go down, the purpose and the security, what you give. So that is the main idea of having a group route and private route in this case. So the another one, what we got is the update project. So this update project is very important, and this manage very important section for the project, updating those stuff them. So what I'm going to do is come to the let's say Prisma commands and PHP command. So then last time this was never accessible by copying these sections. Okay, so what I'm going to do is come to my project and to explain all those, and then I'm going to create in the root, because as you can see I have already my Prisma PHP JSON project. If I haven't, what I have to do is to create one and then pass this, and then you're going to define all routes what you need, all files what you need to protect for default Prisma PHP environment. So what you are going to do, I'm going to go back and I'm going to say first what I want to save is I'm going to create a model here, and let's say I'm going to create a post model post. Okay, there we have it. Save. All right, now the reason about the update is going to update even Prisma schema, so you have to be careful because it's going to replace with new one. So to prevent that, what I'm going to say in excluded files, I'm going to say from here passing Prisma and then Prisma schema, please don't touch it. Alright, that's all. So you're going to come and set what you don't want, and then my environment variables too, because I'm going to come and change my connection. I'm going to connect to a database, local database. So I'm going to say MySQL, and it's going to be root, my super encrypted password, and then here is my database name. So my root test, yeah, that was cancel, save, and then here So here what I want to do is say Prisma end file. No, the end file is in the root. As you can see, there it's going to be prevented. So now when I update this package with the update command, I'm going to open because this is don't need be shown in the web browser. So when I update, okay, let me cancel this. Okay, when I come and copy this command and paste and try to update the package with the currently version, even I can come and modify if I want tailwind or things like that. You could revert to, but we're going to see how this is going to be play a good role. So first, I'm going to open the project structure to see. So I'm going to choose tailwind, and then when tailwind is installed, I'm going to uninstall too. So this could be revert or it's going to be both way. So I say update the project. Okay, well, I agree. Okay, this is going to ask me because I said tailwind is false, so that means to say he want to install the tailwind, and if I agree, I want to say yes. Oops, sorry. Here, yes. WebSocket, no. Okay, so he's going to update everything by default files. So you have to be careful if you modify certain files, but remember the customs ones not going to be touched, but the default one, yes. Okay, so let's wait until finish. Okay, let's go to the end, not touch, schema, not touch. So there you have it. So the command is very secure to update, but be careful when you're going to use it, because if you don't exclude files, this is going to override the file, the default file, which include in the Prisma PHP environment. For that reason, before you update in your project, it's recommended to come to Git and initialize the project repository. So what I want to do, initialize, and then just say put any title. Yep, say yes. Okay, there I have it. So now let's see. I want to uninstall by Tailwind CSS. So I want to come Prisma PHP and I want uninstall Tailwind. So I just put to files and save it, and then I'm going to try to update again. I'm just going to clear my screen, say update the project again, and when I say yes, it's going to ask me about Tailwind CSS again. So this time I'm going to say no, no to, and then I'm going to wait. And let's notice the changes what it's going to make when you update in your project, because it's going to delete files and going to remove and set some environments sections where it's going to be updated. So I want you to notice here package log was modified. So let's just come and see what was modified. All right, here I say there was uninstall those package to clean up, and then this was project log. Yes, okay, anyway, package here it's remove and modify some sections which is not needed, or it's when it's needed is modifies. So it remove post CSS and it modify layout too. As you can see, it comes and remove the Tailwind CDN. No, it remove the styles and then add the Tailwind CDN, which is you can replace with your styles, your CSS styles. So there you have it. The update command is a very good way to update your package, but be careful when you're going to use, and remember to have already declared what you want to protect, what section you want to protect. For that you have to modify the excluded files. So I'm going to connect my SQL, and here I'm going to clean up, let's clean the screen, and npm what I'm going to do is migrate the database to my SQL row, because my SQL database, because I already have prepared my database connection. So what I want to do, npx prisma migrate dev. So what I want to do is migrate my database, say yes, and then enter. Okay, there. So in this case I already have prepared my environment, so I'm going to npm run dev, and to the site again, go to dashboard users. So I already have users. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to generate my classes, my Prisma classes. So we're going to be npx PHP generate class. So this is going to generate our classes needed to connect with Prisma PHP. So what I'm going to do is use the lib and then connect to Prisma. It's already Prisma. So okay, so in this way what I'm going to do, just get the users and print it, and then let do a little example and going to have a name. So here is a users. I'm going to be of Prisma user. Oops. Fine menu. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is echo out. Okay, so here I got an empty array because I already have connect my database, and that's all what is needed. So now what I'm going to do is come, and here in this section, this new section where filters is new section, and here you can make any kind of complex while filter. So here you can find very useful information. So for connect operation, because I want to create a just little small connect creation, so what I'm going to do is to create a user, but then I'm going to create a user role too for connect to the user role. But before I'm going to create just the user, and then I'm going to create a user role. So for that purpose, what I'm going to do, just come and then I'm going to say Prisma user, is going to be the create. Okay, this is already giving me a boilerplate. So John dot do go. Okay, so when I want to create the user, some fields are required and some are not. How I notice, or how I can get true. So I come to Prisma schema, and then I go to the user model. Then afterward I can set a name is optional because it's that have the question mark, because this means to say null or upset null. Email, password, all those stuff there. So only one requirement here is that email must be unique. If I pass the email, that email have to be one. Only one email can exist in user, and the email is going to be unique to that user, and not other user can be used that email. So that's why the unique. You have to know a little bit about database. So remember, you can go to Prisma documentation and read all to have to get more information. So here we're going to try to create a user. So I'm going to say create user. Even what I can do is pass the password. Say password, but I'm not going to pass the string password. So I'm going to say password hash, and then it's going to be the default password hash. So over here, and here let's say 1 2 3 is the password which have to go with. So there we have it. So as you can see, to create user is very easy. And then what I want to do, just save it, just go to format, and here we go. So as you can see, I already create a user, but now as you can see, the role is not identified with a specific role. So the way to connect with the role, I'm going to come to the documentation, and easy as that. And here say the operator create, let you create a record to a related model. So that means to say user role which have the relation with user role. That means to say I can refer to user role. So I'm going to come and go to the create, and then come here, and then user role, going to create. So create, remember, when you're going to have a related model, you have to pass the related model fields. So I'm coming back to schema, Prisma schema. So I'm going to see that user role requirements is to have a name. So I say, okay, instead of role, it's going to be the name. And remember, this is benefit for, because it's a unique. That's why I can pass and I could connect with that unique field. So here I'm going to say admin, because it's going to be the admin user. So I'm just going to change the John Doe with another name. Before changing it, I'm going to try to save, because the way it's going to be complaining, because remember the database is accepting only a type unique email. So if I'm trying to register John Doe example.com, it's going to be duplicated. That means to say I can't have email duplicated in my database, and this is secure. And then I try to save, and Prisma PHP complains. And so what I'm going to do here, going to be instead of John Doe, let's say Maria, Maria Duo, and so here going to be Maria no, Maria, and try to save, and there we go. So I'm just going to comment, and here we could see the first one. As you can notice, the role ID is empty, mean to say it's not connect to anyone. And the next one, like say the Maria one, yes, it have a role ID. So to get the role ID, it's easy as this. You just come to find menu and then say include user role, but remember you have to pass the confirmation with true, and then you save, and then you just connect to the related database. Easy as that. You get the information from the user role which is a related database. So what internally is doing is using the user model, but when you pass the user role as an include, so this user model store the information for the relation user role, so he can go and get all the information from this model, and you get that information right here in user role. So let's see a scenario where you can have many others. Okay, let's say here I'm going to create, and remember the create identifier creates a record in the related model, but remember, if the record already exists, it's going to complain, it's going to throw an error. So let's say I'm going to try to create another admin, because here is a name and unique, you can create another admin. So let's say save, and here's an email, but I'm going to try to save Ricardo. Okay, here going to be Ricardo, and but here's a duplicates entry in admin. That means to say I'm trying to register another, and Prisma PHP already telling me that already exists an admin in the database, so you must not register another one. So there you have it. It is a little protected way. So for this scenario, what I'm going to do is clear my screen and let's try to use one of the Prisma command, and so it's going to be the Prisma Studio. Prisma is very powerful ORM, so I want to copy and paste, and Prisma Studio, and this is going to open. Okay, here we have, so I have three models with a post, user, and user role. So if I come to open in my user role, as you can see, I have the name admin. So what I have to do is come to say this is going to be user, but I'm going to open here, try to open the post, so go back. What I'm going to do is, now I'm going to create many posts with the same user, because this user have relation with the post model too. So what I have to use, remember the fields are this. These are the fields. These are the types. So the field post have the type of post, but remember this means to say the relation between user and post is many, one to many. Okay, because it's an array. So in array you could call a many posts. So here you have post. In post, as you can see, the type is don't have the question mark. That means to say I have to pass the type and the content to create that post. If I don't pass, it's going to complain. So what I'm going to do is come and create a post. And remember, this capital post is coming from this this one. Always remember, we get into reference to user model. So there it is. So I'm going to create many. I'm going to cut this and create many. And where you're going to find more example about that is here, connect operator. And here you say create many. This section is just created. So create many, and here is a create and then create many. Here you have an example of create many. So what I'm going to do is come and say, okay, I'm going to create many posts. So okay, I'm going to pass an array, well, there I have it. So here I'm going to try to save. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see, create post. I'm just going to copy title, content. Okay, it's the same. Okay, I'm just going to try. Okay, let's see what's it's happening here. Okay. Okay, let's see. Because it's complaining, say Taylor, I don't know, F. Okay, let's save. Okay, here we got create, so this is going to complain. So there, I'm going to do like say connect or create. For more information, documentation, and here is connect or create for more information. There you have it. So what I'm going to do is say for connect or create, it's going to accept a where condition. So here, let's say if I don't know, author. If author exists, not don't create it. If not, we'll create. So let's go here, create many, because how I trying to update the package by finding like errors and things like that. So this is going to be like an overview, and let's try to create the user. So I'm going to come. I don't know why it's not creating the. So I'm going to say just create. Let's see, right? Okay. For create, have to pass a single. Okay. There we have it. Okay. For now, as you can see, when I pass a create many, it's say the title is required, which is going to be reviewed. So that's the main idea of the open source project. If you found an issue, you just say or to the GitHub, and then say which part is having problems, so I could go and try to fix it and then deploy it, and so on until the package is get into stable version. Okay, the main idea is create many is complaining and this and that, so I don't know why is because when I have test with other one, it was working good. Let me see why it's complaining. Okay, I want to see what about this create many. Okay, okay, to go on, what I'm going to do is comment this just for a while and explain some two things. Include, don't affect this section, but select those. So if I want prevent to pass the password, include not going to help me, because include is going to affect the related ones. So if I want select just the name, so I want to pass here select name. just the name, and it's going to select me just the name to here. So it's not going to pass me the ID. But what about if I want to select, like say, the ID, name, email, but I don't want to expose the password? So for that, you have to use the select keyword, and then you're going to select what you want to select from your user. There you have it. So user, so here is a ID, name, and email, just that. So what select going to do? Select is going to affect the current user table, the current table, but include no, include affect downside. So what I'm going to do, if I include name and this and that, include going to omit this, and it's going to come focus on the related tables. So be aware of using include and using select about. So let's try to create this and create many, because it was giving me a issue or something else. I don't know why though, because I'm tested before. So let's say it's going to be there with okay, create, connect, create many. No, I'm going to review this, what happened. I don't know what is happening, because I used the other one and it was working. So connect this. Okay, create Gmail one, this, save. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is try to explain some little about the where filter. The where filter have contain start with, end with. So what I want to do is try to just a certain sections. So here, find many. So I can pass and where the ID or this and that. So let's say I'm going to filter with where ID, no ID with that. So I'm going to filter where email contains, for this, I'm going to filter where email contains, I don't know, say just the example.com. So it's going to return me just the example.com emails. There you have it. So now let's say I'm going to start with, I don't know, let's say maybe the name start with, so the name going to start with John. So instead of contents, it's going to be start with John and space or so on. I have a typo there. Okay. Okay. What with S starts? Okay. Okay. So here I'm passing start with John. It's not detecting any John or start with J or something like that. You just pass and then it's going to identify the start with, and I hope found, and here is a name, not email. So John start with. Okay, it's not founding any name with J, but I imagine we have John or things like that. So there you can have those filters set up. So you have to like say review all those stuff them and thing like end with, and this one is quite good to list operation in or not. So I'm going to remove the where to have, like say, all the filter. All right, now where, like say, the role ID must be, like say, I'm going to include the role because it's not showing role ID. Okay, the role ID must be in 5 and let's say 7 or something else like that. So this in it's let's experiment with this role ID. In okay, so it's going to be 5 and 7. 5 and 7. 5 and 7. So on. So there we have 5 and 7. So those filter by even by the space, by all those stuff. So you can go and experiment with each, not in or this for the age or not, or as you wish. So there we have it. This was just the overview example. So I want to resume everything, and this the stream is going to finish. And if you have a question, well, you have to you can go and trying to ask about it. So first one, we talk about group and group roles, which is a handy way to have all your roles in one place. Let's say dashboard, it's going to contain user, customer, so on, so on, so on. But you don't going to type to the location request, let's say dashboard and then users. No. So you just going to come and say, okay, dashboard users, and you have already, and as you can see, the dashboard is excluded and it's managed internally for PHP. So the row, it's going to be the directory name users, so it's going to be managed. So that's the main idea to you have your files order, no? And this is a technique where you can use and for organizing your files and your rows, no? So the dashboard or public, but the public is not going to be a row, it's internally managed and it's a group. So just inside the public you have all those public stuff you're going to do. Okay, the second, we talk about private rows, and we make an example here. Private, you can put any kind of name you want here. Internally, the private, it's not going to be accessed even if you make it an API request because it's private. So here, let's say I'm going to want to get into the private row, and it's 404 because it's not going to found because it's private. And those private, you can work with the private row internally, like say I'm working with users, but I say, okay, I'm going to include any require ones from the app path, and then say private. So I'm going to always going to be the index.php and save, and I can users hello from private. So internally you can work with private rows, but externally it's private to the external. So internally you could have like stuff like say there you have like components, it's going to be private rows, and there you could name it components, and you have all your components like the login, registration, all those stuff them, or any kind of situation what you want to front with. So there you have it. Private, it's not going to be exposed to the external road, it's internally proposed. Next one, the update project. It's this command is very PHP command. I make an explanation about this. So if you have a previous version of Prisma PHP, you could update your project in the new one, and currently we have the changelog in 1.8, which is added to the private and group roads and advancing. Sure. So if you want to update that project which you have in early version, let's say my project is 1.7.11, so what I want to do is come to Prisma command, PHP command, sorry. So then you want to copy this, and well, if you review the video, you're going to see more detail. And remember, always remember this here, Prisma PHP, set your excluded file, which Prisma PHP it's not going to override, because if you modify, because remember schema schema.prisma is default file for Prisma PHP environment, so it's going to be override. To protect your models, if you're going to update your project and not be override, just add this way. Easy. Let's say I'm going to remove and say just com /, Prisma that, say Prisma schema, you have IntelliSense. That was second, outcoming. Okay, I was working in authentication, so let me open the project and let me give you the small overview, and you let me know your thoughts about how it's advancing, how it looks. I'm going to cancel this. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see this advancing authentication project. So afterward, you could give me some advice or things like that. So, okay. For authentication, what I was working is to have, like, let's say dashboard is not a group row. Dashboard is a dashboard row. So that means to say you can access to the dashboard, but let's say dashboard, in this case dashboard, and as you go on, it say no, the location is denied. Why is denied? Because remember, to get access to the dashboard, you have to be a user authenticated. For that reason, you don't have the privilege to get access to the dashboard. And the way you put that privilege or that can user, or when it could access to dashboard, it's you're going to come and then I already working middleware. And this middleware going to be automatic created in your in future release version. So what you want to do is just come to the protected static matches, and as you can see, I just put dashboard here, and this dashboard is going to protect, and when this row is touched, what is going to ask if there is a session with user. So this session is going to be automatically managed by JSON Web Tokens, or if you're going to register with Google. So I'm working on the credentials, which is going to create a user in the database, and afterward you before make the authentication, all those stuff, you're going to, like, say, get the token, all those stuff, but it's going to be automatically updating the JSON Web Tokens when it's going to be, like, say, I'm coming back, close the tab, the web browser tab, and I coming back, and as you can see in next web page, them already know the cookies. So if the cookies not expired yet, you can go to your dashboard and you don't have to log in again. So how it's going to do? Well, this authentication middleware is going to be handle all those stuff incoming and going out. So as you can see, if I want to go to products, I can't go to products to products, and it's denied. But what about if I come and I say, well, products, it's not going to be protected routed, so it's going to be no products. I have access because authentication, products don't need authentication to be viewed. So what happened if I remove from this array all those routes which is need the authentication, let's say session, for manage, because when you get into the dashboard you going need the user authenticated information to display the name, this and that, and avoid errors. So you put like say the dashboard is authenticated row, and for that you just put dashboard and it's going to automatically manage by itself, but giving you the total control of the class. That way you could come and understand what it needs. And then when the user is authenticated, here you have the header where you want to send it. That's the idea. So all the routes, what it's going to come to pass, or it's going to redirect, it's going to pass through authentication middleware, because it's a middleware which is going to be handle all routes coming in and going out. So the public one and the private one, it's going to pass through our out middleware. So there you have it, just a previous refresh which I'm working on it. So it's easy. I am trying to add all those stuff, then what I'm by my experience at Cure, talking about Next and React and authentication and all those stuff. Then so I'm trying to make the development experience easy as possible and manageable possible, and giving all control to the developer and must control all those stuff. So as you can see, the authentication is a little complicated when it's come to like managing JSON Web Tokens and sending it to store, and then you have to manage cookies, session, this and that. So I said no, that's too complicated. Just manage your session and you get access to your session. That's that. Okay, so there you have it, guys. So let me ask you about the advance of the package. So currently we are on the version, let me open, and the version 1.8 sorry 1.8.1. so well, advancing. Okay, if there are any question before I leave that I can answer, let me know, send me to the chat and we can let me see if I could answer or discuss. So welcome to you all. Welcome to you all. Okay, I'm open. Guys. Okay, so well, was a pleasure for me to share the current 1.8.1 version and giving the control and to give you overall more organized way to handle your project, like say with protected, and then you have the group roads, and well, authentication is coming soon. So for that, well, thank you to all, and see you in the next video streams. So happy coding.